That movie sucked.
I kind of liked it.
Movie Night Crew Network.
The whole lobby was a giant game room. And I'm not talking about cheesy old Pac-Man games or slot machines. There was an indoor water slide, snaking around the glass elevator, which went straight up at least 40 floors. There was a climbing wall on the side of one building, and an indoor bungee jumping bridge. There were virtual reality suits with working laser guns, and hundreds of video games, each one the size of a widescreen TV. Basically, you name it, this place had it. There were a few other kids playing, but not that many. No waiting for any of the games. There were waitresses and snack bars all around, serving every kind of food you could imagine. Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I'm Taylor from Cabin 6.
And I'm Charlie from Cabin 13. So this week, Percy, Annabeth, and Grover, they joined the Order of the White Lotus. It's a joke that Taylor gets!
I finally get the joke!
Yay!
Dear listeners,
You watched Avatar?
I finally finished Avatar.
I'm so proud of her.
Season 2 took us a little to get through. That's what slowed us down.
Yeah. I'm so happy that you got heartbroken at the end of season 2.
I hate you. I didn't know, some things were spoiled for me, ahead of time, because the show is, 13 years old or something, 14 years old?
Yeah.
So, I expected that. That was something that was not spoiled for me, and I was not okay.
Mwahaha.
So...
You're welcome.
That's how I feel right now. We just finished, was that 2 nights ago from recording? Now we started The Good Place, so...
Also a good show.
Yeah, we finished 4 episodes last night? 3 episodes? I don't know. I do know the twist for season 1.
I feel like everyone knows that at this point.
Well,
it's
yeah. That's something, I found out pretty early on. I mean, I'm not gonna say it here just in case somebody is, not heard the twist. But,
I almost want to, compare it to, Darth Vader's Luke's father kind of twist at this point.
Yeah, well, knowing the twist, it's very obvious when, watching it, but I can't imagine not connecting the dots if I didn't know the twist. I can definitely see, not noticing it.
I don't remember if I knew it. I honestly can't remember.
Joe and I are big fans of watching shows that are finished.
That makes sense.
There are some shows, we're watching Bad Batch right now, which is, and, the Marvel and Star Wars shows, we'll watch, and then Masked Singer, but beyond that, we don't super do well with, waiting, because we also get super behind in things really easily, because we don't watch a lot of TV. It's a struggle, man. The struggle to consume media as a cusper, it's a real struggle.
I don't struggle. I don't have enough media, is the problem.
Okay, see...
Because I'm very particular.
My media of choice is podcasts, rather than visual-related stuff.
I don't have a media of choice.
Yeah, see, podcasts are my media of choice, which is why I end up not watching much stuff, because I'm normally listening to something.
Oh, well, a lot of the podcasts I listen to are also, review. They talk about things that I have seen, so I have to have seen something. Anyway, Percy Jackson? Well,
What is this show anymore? So, behind the scenes moment, we've tried recording this episode. Is this the 3rd or 4th try? I don't remember anymore. I think it's the 4th try.
At least.
The first time, I was lost in the bowels of southwestern PA, and I was very unhappy.
Yeah, you were.
I texted Charlie, I was like, I'm so scared. I don't know where I am. So that was try number 1. Try number 2, I had a migraine. And try number 3, I had a panic attack.
We're thriving here at Of the Eldest Gods.
You at least were surviving at those points. I was just actively dying.
I think I'm just always down to talk about fandoms is the problem. Like, even when I'm in pain, which I have recorded while I'm in pain before, so...
You have. Normally I put up with it, but I physically could not see. And normally that's helpful when you have to look at a book.
Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
A smidge.
So...
Oh, what's this chapter about?
This is probably my favorite chapter of the book, if I had to say.
Oh,
I fucking love this chapter so much.
Alright.
We take a zebra to Vegas, you know? Maybe pissing off Ares is not the best idea. Just saying. At least he gave us a ride to Vegas, sort of. We also get the positive news that Sally is not dead, but kept as hostage. Kindness International is an interesting name for an animal smuggling operation. Seems a little on the nose. Finally get the confirmation we needed about what happened on Grover's first assignment with Talia, Luke, and Annabeth. I honestly think it is brave of Grover for being on another long journey with Annabeth, after he lost one child of the big three. Percy naturally has another nightmare from the dark abyss. Someday we will get closure about these dreams, I promise. After saving the poor animals in the truck and giving them a protective charm, we're off to the Lotus Hotel and Casino where we are trapped for 5 days. To be honest, I would not be opposed to being there at this point in my life. Alas, now we are at only one more day until our deadline.
Yeah.
Struggle bus.
Okay.
That's why I want to be in the Lotus Hotel and Casino.
Alright.
Imagine how restful that would be.
You know what? I'd be fine with taking a vacation there, except it would be like 10 years by the time I leave. I've missed 10 years.
Well, you're the same age when you come out.
Okay. No, I just thought of something like maybe good, maybe sad. Just like anybody who's in there, just like completely unaffected by like the pandemic.
Yeah, they'd be like coming out and be like,
they're quarantining. They were quarantining the entire time.
Extreme quarantining.
Anyone who finds out about the pandemic and just goes there, they just like, oh god, we're gonna just go to the Lotus Hotel and Casino, and then they come out and it's like 5 years later, and like...
And the rest of us have been wiped out in nuclear war. But the Lotus Hotel and Casino is still standing.
The last thing standing when the world goes to shit is the Lotus Hotel and Casino.
That's my headcanon.
Someone write this fanfic.
We asked for so many fanfics on the show.
Do we?
Yeah.
I asked for fanfics of, like, random children that we just see for 5 seconds. Because I'm sure they're demigods.
That's most of our fanfics.
I am positive they're all demigods!
There was the Centaur Boy, there was the one in St. Louis.
Listen, I love Centaur Boy. We got, like, one line of him, and I'm like, I love him.
Now, what we truly need is a fanfic about Doris.
I love Doris. Don't get me started on Doris.
Doris and Dionysus, the two patron gods for podcasts.
Sometimes Hestia is here.
I just want Hestia to, like, make life better. Isn't that her job?
Yes. You know what? Hestia is the patron goddess of, like, the server, because she's, like, the goddess of, like, the home and the hearth.
Yeah.
So, like, the server, you get it?
Yeah. The server is much our home.
Yeah.
Oh, alas, we are on our way from Denver to Las Vegas. You know.
Yeah, so that's where the fuck we are.
Yeah, Vegas, for the perfect spot for
Vegas, baby!
A 12-year-old. So we're in fucking Las Vegas, so Sin City, which...
Oh?
It's such a good place to put your hotel and casino in this case, especially, like, if you apply it to the Odyssey. Like, it's so perfect. I know you're gonna talk more about that then, so I won't go too much into it. It's also in the middle of the fucking desert, which is also, like, interesting when you think about in the Odyssey, they're in the middle of fucking the sea. And it's sort of the same concept of just being...
You know, there's a lot of sand. You know, it's rough, it's coarse, and it gets everywhere.
It's such an accurate line, but it's so poorly written.
I just love using that line because that's how I feel about of the beach.
Yeah. No, it's so true. I'm not much of a beach person either. Okay, so fun things I learned. It is often called, like, one of its nicknames is the marriage capital of the world.
Oh, that makes sense.
It totally makes so much sense.
Wait. I don't mean to interrupt you, but like, this should be like Hera's city then.
That's what I was just thinking. I was just about to bring that up.
She's the goddess of fucking marriage. Why is this not like Hera's city? You know what? I will bring that up when we get to the Lotus things. Because I remember I have a thing about that.
Oh, you do. That's right. My only guess is because most of the marriages fail, that she is not associated with it. You know what I mean?
Okay, but like, her marriage is thriving.
I mean, they're not divorced. She's trying her best, I think.
Who was it that brought up that, like, Hephaestus is probably, like, poly on our Twitter? Was it Christina? Somebody brought it up.
I don't remember.
Like, I'm just imagining that, like, Ares and Aphrodite totally also got married in Vegas, because, like, all the gods are poly. They're fine.
Except for Hera.
Except for Hera, who's, like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like, she literally can't be. That's just part of her.
She just can't deal with anybody else's bullshit is the problem, I think.
She's already dealing. Like, one megalomaniac is enough for her.
I don't know why she stays with him.
I don't know. Anyhow, back to Vegas. Just like all the other places, like, we've talked about, very much, like, based in indigenous peoples' culture. Like, you can still find a lot of petroglyphs in that area from, like, the ones that came across the land bridge. And then it's also associated with the Anasazi and the Paiute. I always pronounce that wrong, so I apologize. And then it was, like, settled by the Spanish, just like everything else in the West. And then the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints eventually gets there, which is also very strange thinking about what it is today. So.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't. I wish I knew more about, like, the transition. Because.
I don't know.
Like, they eventually legalize gambling. Oh, this is interesting. That same year, they reduced residency requirements for divorce to 6 weeks. That helps along with what we were talking about. So, like, they started gambling, but it doesn't until after World War II that, like, what we think of Las Vegas begins. But then they start, like, testing the nuclear weapons nearby.
I was just reading that and I'm like, the fuck? Wait,
yes.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it makes total sense.
Middle of the desert, you know?
Yeah. So it was called the Atomic City for a bit. And then...
Oi.
So it was, really the 50s is when it takes off to be what we think of. We had our first racially integrated casino hotel, the Moulin Rouge Hotel in 1955. The, like, Welcome to Las Vegas sign goes up in 59. And then in the 60s, it sort of spins out of control. And, like, they've started to put more money into, like, corporate stuff and museums and everything. But Vegas is Vegas. It would be very difficult to sort of erase that culture, you know? Like, once you're known for something for so long, like, it has the largest number of land-based casinos in the world. My guess is it specifies land-based because I assume Monte Carlo has a lot of ones based on boats. If I had to take a guess. Because I feel like Monte Carlo probably has more casinos, but I'm sure some of them are water-based just because of where it's located.
Have you ever been to a casino?
I have been once, but not to casino. It was to see Colin Jost perform stand-up. I walked through a casino.
I went to a casino that held a Comic-Con. Guess who I dressed up as?
Is this the one when you were you Percy on this one?
I dressed up as Percy.
What if the Lotus Hotel, moves? You don't know.
Well,
You don't know.
I think that means it would have moved east. And everything moves to the west. You know, Western civilization and all that bullcrap.
We're not talking about that.
You hear that? We don't talk about Western civilization on this podcast. That's rule 1. Don't talk about Western civilization.
It's because it makes Taylor sad. It should make all of you sad, too.
I was gonna say it makes me mad.
Okay, anger is also an okay reaction to the idea of Western civilization and what it has done to our concept of time and history.
Time is fake. There is no concept of time.
I asked my kids the other day if history could be forgotten. And everybody's like, yes and no. And I'm just sitting here like, yes, it can be forgotten. That's like
literally
part of the
that's
issue.
That's how history has worked.
That's
what you do is you just erase shit and then people forget about that.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I've been trying to tell you guys all year.
That's literally, like, how history just fucking works.
So.
That's why we don't know so much.
By the time this episode comes out, my school year is going to be over. And I am going to miss my kids a lot. Don't get me wrong. I love them. Sometimes they say the dumbest shit.
I mean, that's because they're kids, you know?
I had a kid today ask me if I wanted to try fried owl. Who owl? How do you react to that?
Taylor, I feel like you're legally not allowed to have fried owl based on your parentage.
I don't even know if, in the actual, world, if it's legal to fry an owl.
Why would you do that to a poor owl? Owls are great.
Some of them are. There are some that are pretty annoying.
Well, that's their charm.
Their charm is being annoying?
Yeah, like the Duolingo owl.
Don't talk about the Duolingo owl. I saw him today and yesterday and the day before. It's been too much Duolingo owl.
He's everywhere.
You all don't understand how
watching.
terrifying it is to live down 2 blocks away from that demon. He sees me. He's like the evil version of Santa Claus.
No, that's Krampus.
No. Krampus has a reason to exist. That owl doesn't.
You know what? I should just, change the owl in our logo to the Duolingo.
I will kill you. I will drive to Massachusetts right now.
Okay.
I'll get your address
I'm waiting.
Somewhere. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll message Carrie.
I just like the moment, you said that, Christina messaged, I love everyone in this bar.
Wait, did she
anyway.
actually?
She did.
Whoa, that was some timing, man. Okay.
Well timed. Yeah, we're talking about something.
Oh yeah, well, I finished up with Las Vegas. It's Las Vegas. I think even our international friends know Las Vegas. If you're an international friend and don't know about Las Vegas, you can DM us on Instagram or Twitter, and we'll help you out. I think.
I'll make sure Taylor answers those DMs since she offered this information.
Oh. I will finally have time to be a person in a couple weeks, so maybe.
Oh, I'm never a person, so.
That's true, you're an immortal being. We've established that.
Exactly.
Who can see the future.
Yeah.
I miss Haley being on the show.
Haley, listen. You need to read the books so we can have you on more.
Thanks.
Everyone yell at Haley. You'll know her Twitter after, that episode, because I will tag her in so many tweets.
At the Retwit. Do it.
Tell her to read Percy Jackson so we can have her on more.
Do it and you're cool. Okay, let's talk about Arachne first, and then...
Well, are you hijacking my... Are you hijacking this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Taylor, this is my segment, so... I'm taking it back. In case you mythed it, we're gonna talk about... Don't you fucking dab in front of me. I will quit this fucking show.
Bye.
I will leave.
Bye. Wait, after you talk about the Lotus. I like to talk about them.
Fine. So, Arachne. Funnily enough, guess what her name means? Her name means spider!
Yay!
She's clearly going to be my favorite person to talk about because I love spiders.
I know you do. You're such a big fan. Favorite animal, right?
I can't tell if I'm, like, fully arachnophobic or just, like, afraid of them. Is there I know there's, like phobia is, like, very strong.
Yeah. It often induces, like, anxiety level fear, like, often associated with panic attacks and stuff.
It really depends how close in proximity I am to the spider.
Normally, just us having this conversation would probably set you off if you were arachnophobic.
Cool.
The thing I have a phobia of, I literally cannot talk about.
Yes, I recall this.
Yeah. Joe uses this against me if he's mad at me.
Joe, that is rude and uncalled for. I know you don't listen to this, but I'm calling you out, Joe.
I'll let him know. I'll play it for him out loud while I'm editing.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, like, I freak out when they're, like, very close to me and or touching me, and I will scream a lot.
I've pet a spider before.
No.
Like a tarantula.
No. I also cannot look at them very much. Like, I've gotten enough that I can mostly watch Chamber of Secrets and not freak out. But also, like, especially if it's something that I'm, like, new and I'm not expecting it, I, like, nope.
Things like snakes and spiders, I'm fine if it's
snakes
in
a
controlled environment.
Snakes are great.
Like, if I were to be surprised by a gigantic spider or just a snake in general, then I'm gonna freak out. But I freak out over just, like, anything that surprises me. However, I enjoy...
We cannot watch thrillers. Is that the... We can't watch thrillers?
I'm like...
Or horror?
I don't really do horror, but I like thrillers. But I'm fine if they're on a screen. This is really just in real life. Like, if I'm walking along in the woods and all of a sudden I see a snake moving, I'm gonna freak out because I didn't expect to see a snake there.
Well, I feel like that's different. If it's maybe in my environment, I would be afraid of a snake just because I would be like, wait, is this a good snake? Is this a bad snake? I don't know enough about snakes in this area.
See, Pennsylvania only has 3 types of poisonous snakes, and I know how to,
I don't
identify them.
I don't know enough about this.
See, Pennsylvania is, like, all wilderness, so you just sort of pick it up when you're a kid and go with it.
Well, I was in Scouts, and they did not tell me things.
You'll be surprised to know that you'll know it's a rattlesnake if it rattles.
Whoa. I wasn't expecting that one.
But you can tell it's a copperhead because it'll smell like cucumbers.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna smell snakes from now on.
No, it's strong enough that you can smell it.
No, I'm gonna smell the snake.
And then a diamondback
I'm going to pick up the snake and I'm going to smell it.
Well, then you're gonna get bit and die.
That's fine.
Like, that's what I'm telling you.
Remember, I don't die.
Oh, that's true.
We also have to hit the snakes if they're copulating. We have to hit them with a stick.
Gotta boop them with the stick. Gotta boop.
Anyway, let's talk about this lady. I'm just avoiding talking about her. I don't actually hate the story of Arachne. Okay. Like, there are just, like, some things about this myth that I'm like, it's, like, kind of out of character for Athena, but also Arachne is asking for it.
Yeah, no. So, she's, like, fully...
But, like,
I don't think she deserved it, but, like...
Yeah. Like, it also depends on if it's, like, the whole, like... Are there 2 different endings for this? I think there's 2 different endings. Because, like, there's the one that I've heard where it's just that she turns into a spider after the contest.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the even sadder version that I'll talk about. Yeah. So, Arachne, she's a weaver, funnily enough. And she's like, oh, I'm, like, the greatest weaver ever. I'm, like, even better than fucking Athena. Like, obviously. I'm fabulous. And then Athena hears about this. And she disguises herself as an old lady to be like, okay, I'll give her a chance. Be like, you're you wouldn't really compare yourself to a goddess. And Arachne's like, of course I would. I want that bitch to, like, fight me now. I'm quoting it exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Exact quotes.
Same, yes.
And so, yeah, so Athena's like, okay, fine, I'll challenge you, removes her disguise, and they weave. They weave, and that's a challenge. It's a great sporting event, you know? Does it say what they weave, or...
Isn't it just a tapestry?
Okay. Yeah, okay, no, so Athena's is, she weaves a tapestry of, like, different times when mortals and gods, like, did contests, and the gods punish mortals, kind of, like, foreshadowing what's going to happen. And then what Arachne weaves is honestly just great. She's
exactly what
basically
we say
roasting
on
Zeus.
this. Yeah, exactly what we say on the show all the time.
Zeus. Okay. Is Arachne my hero? She's calling out Zeus for his bullshit.
She's below Doris for me.
I mean, yeah, she's below Doris, obviously.
But then, like, I think she's pretty high up there.
You know what? Like, maybe she's like, her and Medusa, like, parallels. They were both cursed by Athena, but, like, are they on, like, the same level where it's like, did they do things wrong? I mean, did they? Really? Yes, I mean, Arachne is kind of being a bitch, but also, like,
Arachne
you know what?
is being punished for pride.
Yeah, you know what? And currently it's Pride Month, so...
Yep, that kind of pride.
Arachne, gay icon!
I get some gay vibes off her. I feel like just most strong women I get gay vibes off of.
You know what? That's a mood, actually.
I'm just
it's
like,
such
love
a mood.
Me.
Love you?
Love me.
Never.
Oh, okay. It's always a very interesting thing with being biromantic but demisexual, where it's like, all I want is love and hugs from women too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to go further than that.
You don't want to sex them.
I don't want to sex them.
Not until you know them well enough.
No, see, I'm a hetero-demi, but, like, yeah. It's a very complicated situation in my head right now. And by right now, I mean
that's
all the
valid.
time. That's just, like, who I am.
That's valid.
Yeah. I'm glad... Sorry, we had to take a minute to reflect on my sexuality and romantic alignment.
Listen, it's Pride Month. This is the time for it.
You're right.
Whereas I'm just like, okay, I'm hot for all of these people. Am I gonna do anything about it? No. Yeah.
I am hot for Joe only.
Well, that's nice of you.
I know, right? It's very kind.
Okay, yes. So, like I said, Arachne, gay icon.
That's our stance and we're sticking with it.
Yeah. You know, if that's not a tweet, then I'll be upset.
That, what you just said is the tweet. If that's not a tweet, I'll be upset.
I honestly, as soon as I said it, I'm just like, that's gonna be the tweet. Yeah, so... Arachne just, like, calling out basically all the gods who, like, abused mortals and seduced women, but, like, mostly Zeus. Yeah. So, Athena's like, damn, you fucking insulted my fucking family? So, also, I like the fact that here it specifically says that the work is actually more beautiful than Athena's. Mm-hmm. Does this mean Arachne she won?
Oh yeah, no, she completely won. That's the issue.
Okay, I didn't know that she did win.
Yeah, no, she won.
Yo, fuck Athena.
That's why, and that's what I'm saying is, like, Athena is completely in the wrong here. Yes.
Yeah, this is just very out of character for her.
It's supposed to be, like, teaching, like, the idea of being punished for pride. But it just makes Athena look like a bitch.
It really does. Like, I understand that, like, okay, like, the beginning setup of the story is to be like, okay, like, maybe don't do that. Like, maybe, like, calm yourself. And then she, like, challenges Athena herself. And I'm like, okay, well, of course Athena would, like, do that, you know? Like, at that point, like, she specifically challenged her, called her out. Okay. But to, like, go to the point of, like, she knows that Arachne's is beautiful, more beautiful than hers, and so she rips it to shreds and hits her on the head 3 times. She, like, bonks her on the head.
3 times. That's important.
The fuck? Okay, but, like, Athena, this don't make you look good.
Yeah. Calm the fuck down, man.
Do we not like Athena on this podcast?
I mean, she does some really shitty things.
Athena, why are you so controversial? Like, I want to like you.
There are very few gods that, like, I think about Artemis, Hestia. Dionysus has his problems, but, like, most of them are caused by other people.
See, I think Dionysus is just, like, too chill.
Well,
He's very chill.
That's what I'm saying, is, like, anything that might be problematic about him is not necessarily his fault. So you got those 3.
We got Doris.
Got Doris. Our girl, Doris.
But, like, I want to like Athena so much because she's the goddess of fucking nerds.
Yeah.
And she produced Annabeth.
I don't know, it's very interesting because Apollo is technically the patron god of education.
Yeah, okay, so, like, Apollo is, like, the god of, like...
everything, it's fine.
So many fucking things. And really, his kids should be the nerds. But, like, I don't know.
I just feel like any depiction of children of Athena just always loses out the part of the fact that she is also the goddess of war strategy. Like,
I think Annabeth's pretty good at the war strategy.
Well, I was about to say, like, it does show up, but it is not necessarily part of their character most of the time. Like, it's just an afterthought.
It's because they're not always constantly in war.
Yeah, but you think about, like, the fact that Ares and his kids are known for that. Like, being combative. But then you see, like, these times like this with Athena, in this example with Arachne. Like, she can be that unnecessarily combative.
I do think that, I feel like Annabeth is, like, really good at doing, like, the war strategy part of Athena, just because, like, Annabeth is fucking ruthless, like, and she...
Y'all.
She will take you down in a fight without, like, hitting you too many times, honestly.
Y'all, wait until we get further. Man.
Annabeth, like, yeah. Anyway.
Arachne.
I didn't have a crush on Annabeth, even though I didn't know I was queer. Totally.
Totally,
you know?
It's fine.
Okay, yeah, so I should probably fucking end this story. Anyway. I just don't want to read that next part where Arachne is, like, so sad that she fucking hangs herself.
Yeah, imagine your the greatest masterpiece of your life being torn to shreds.
Imagine if Doris did that to you.
Oh my god, Doris, don't do it to me. Doris, I love you, Doris.
The greatest meme of the pod is actually Doris.
And that was we found by accident. Like, it wasn't even...
That was complete accident, and I love her, and she'll, like, never actually appear in any of these series, but I love her. Yeah, so, God, fucking Athena isn't, like, she doesn't even, she still kind of punishes her. I don't like this wording here. I really don't like this wording where it's like...
Do you want me to read what she says?
You wanna read that? Sure, go ahead.
Live on then, and yet hang, condemned one. But lest you are careless in the future, the same condition is declared, and punishment against your descendants to the last generation.
Like, okay. So Athena's not even like, oh, like, I didn't need to go that far. She's like, oh, well, you kind of deserve that.
Fuck you
also,
and fuck
I'm still gonna punish you.
every generation ever.
Athena, calm the fuck down. Yeah. So, she turns Arachne, who is dead. I guess she brings her to life and then turns her into a spider? I don't know. It doesn't say how she brings her back to life, because she should be dead. Unless she's a zombie spider.
Oh, man. I mean, is Arachne
I don't want to imagine that.
technically immortal then?
I mean, yeah.
So, like, maybe because... I don't know. Because it's like... Hecate's herb is what changes her? So maybe there's some...
Also, Hecate's got, like, those, like, death, like, associations and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, eventually we're gonna run out of mythology for certain things, and we'll just start connecting it to new things.
I mean, that's why I'm just like, I want to talk about, like, other things and other mythologies as well sometimes, too. So I'm bringing in some other shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lotus time! Woo!
Yeah, I'm just gonna cry about Arachne now.
Yeah, you started off this segment with, like, oh god, I don't want to talk about this because of spiders, but now it's like, oh man, so sad. Yeah.
Can we just pretend that Arachne becomes, like, Spider-Woman or something?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Arachne and Gwen, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love Gwen. Have I mentioned my love of Gwen Stacy? I need to say it everywhere. I need to say it. Anyway. Enough of me constantly thirsting over everyone.
Yeah, that is part of your personality.
That is my personality. Anyway, the Lotus-Eaters. Which, I mean, we kind of see them in this chapter. Technically, they're the Lotus-Eaters. Do they eat any lotus? No, not really. Yeah. But, yeah, so, Greek mythology, the Lotus-Eaters, they live on a special island dominated by the lotus tree. They eat it, and basically everybody's like, yeah, whatever, dude. We're all good. We're all fine here. They're on hard drugs.
Yeah,
they're just on hard drugs, man. That's just how they live their lives.
It's advanced apathy. Like,
it's kind of surprising that, like, Dionysus has nothing to do with this, but...
yeah.
It feels very on brand for him.
Yeah, it does, especially when you take into account the fact that he is the god of, like, madness and mental illness.
Like, it doesn't say anything about how this island came to be at all. But
it's
I'm
true,
just,
like, it's never really...
But,
it just
Dionysus had, like, a bunch of time where he just kind of, like, traveled around, like, before he fully became a god. So I'm just like, I imagine he just found this island, and he made some drugs, and then he just kind of left it, and everybody just got real high. That's his legacy.
I mean, Herodotus thought it was near Libya. This guy thinks it's near Tunisia.
Well, will we ever know? Will the world ever know?
It's about the same question as, did the Trojan War happen?
Where's Atlantis? Where is Atlantis, Taylor?
Well, according to the movie, it's, like, near Iceland.
Technically, Atlantis in the stories is actually, like, Egyptian, kind of. It's not even Greek.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I learn everything from OSP, just saying.
I know you do.
So, yeah. Of course, this is an island that Odysseus comes across, because, like, basically every island that is mentioned in mythology is related to Odysseus, somehow. Or, the Argonauts. Those are, like, the two voyage ones.
Mm-hmm.
The only options. Yeah.
And I guess sometimes Hercules, to an extent.
Does it say how long he spent there? I don't see time. 9 days upon the sea. I don't see.
I think it's, like, a day and a night, if I remember.
Yeah, it seems like he just kind of, like, leaves. Because he's like, nah.
He sends out the scouting group, and then they don't want to come back.
It's just, like, such a weird place to be like, yeah, this was, like, a cameo.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah, like, it totally is.
It's just a fucking cameo.
I mean, honestly, that's basically all the Odyssey is. It's just a bunch of cameos.
God, like, that would just... The Odyssey just, like, sounds like it should be, like, such a, like, a good, like, TV show where it's just, like, Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
Just so much of Greek mythology sounds like such good Monster of the Week TV show fodder. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Odyssey. I know I've stated that before.
I never finished the show Atlantis, which was like Greek mythology stuff. It was about Jason, which was weird. Yeah, I don't know. They did not have accurate mythology.
Yeah, if it's about Jason. What?
I think his mom in the show was canonically like Pasiphae or something. And I was like so confused.
Whatever.
And his best friend was like Pythagoras. And Hercules was like a big old guy, drunk guy. It was weird. Yeah.
Okay.
It was weird as fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Lotus-Eaters exists, but I also want to talk about like some other things here related to lotuses. Okay, what does the Lotus tree page say specifically? Does it have anything different? Lotus tree mentioned. Oh, it's mentioned in Ovid as well.
I feel like a lot of things get mentioned by Ovid.
Yeah, Ovid's a weird dude.
It's also mentioned in the Bible and the Quran.
Yeah. You know, obviously the Lotus-Eaters existed in the Bible. But, fine. You know, they didn't want to talk about it because it's just a place where a bunch of people are on drugs. I didn't say anything about this. There's just, like, a nymph, and her name is Lotus. Does she do anything? She's changing to a lotus tree, maybe? Yeah, so... I mean, there's not really much about her, but she may or may not have turned into a tree. A lotus tree. Okay. I thought there was something more interesting going on there. Doop. Anyway, the thing I really want to talk about here, because I also sometimes want to talk about non-Greek things.
Yeah, whenever I think lotuses, I think pink. Yeah, that's what I think of.
Yeah, like the picture at the top of the page has like a pink one, and then it's like, oh, like a white one. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's a symbol of divinity, or like just immortality and like divine perfection. It's associated with sun and fire gods. Ooh, I really just think it's so pretty here. So it symbolizes the realization of inner potential.
Makes sense.
Like I'm just like, I imagine it being like a you become like immortal, kind of like you become divine kind of like symbolization, you know? I'm just getting an apotheosis kind of vibe.
Its influence on something like Avatar, and like its spiritual like connection.
Mm-hmm. Unfolding petals suggest the expansion of the soul. I don't know. They're just really pretty, and I just really like the symbolism for all the things. That's especially like Hinduism that I was just talking about.
Yeah. I
should have specified, but like yeah. I did mention Hindu gods, so yeah. There isn't much here on Chinese stuff, but Buddhism represents the purity of the soul, speech, and mind. Oh, is that like a... Oh, that's like a specific thing. Okay. I don't know enough about Buddhism, but I just really like the lotus flower. That's it.
I mean, the Buddha himself describes himself as a lotus.
Yeah, that too. Also, just like... Sorry, I just like... I already like looked at the other one, Jainism, which also has lotus thrones mentioned again. A lot of lotus thrones. Like, It's like a throne of flowers. That sounds cool. Anyway, sorry.
Good. I was just gonna mention, like, there's this... I used to know how to pronounce his name, but I don't now. This guy in Tibet who was, like, the second Buddha. Like, if you see depictions of him, he's like, almost always holding a lotus. So it's, like, it's got really strong symbolism in Buddhism.
Okay.
As well as
I'm gonna try to say his name. It's Padmasambhava? That's how it's spelled.
I think so.
Padmasambhava?
I think so. I think you're right.
The Lotus Born. Like, badass. Yeah. I don't know. I just really like the symbolism of how, like, it's, like, divine, and, like, it feels like a kind of, like, I don't know. It feels like an apotheosis, kind of, like, becoming a god, or, like, becoming pure kind of vibe. It's all about the potential. It's not just about the what it is. But also just, like, bring that back to, like, the Lotus-Eaters.
Mm-hmm.
And just, like, their vibe is just, like, they think that's the level that they're on. They're just like, yo, we've, like, achieved immortality, bro. Like, we're on another level.
But it does bring up something we're gonna talk about, like, if you're... I mean, you and I were talking about this before we started recording. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you're in the Lotus Hotel, are you technically immortal?
Are you? It's a good question. And, okay, I wanted to see something else here. Let me just... Okay, so that is the only time it comes up on this page. But I remembered something else about lotuses and Greek mythology. And fun fact for you, lotus flower, it just says lotus, but I'm like, the lotus flower, I'm assuming, is also a symbol of Hera. And
I forgot you wanted to bring that up, yep.
just, you know, we said that maybe she's the patron god of Las Vegas, and the Lotus Hotel is there. So I'm just like, okay, like, theory here about that and Hera. Like, is that, like, her thing, too? I mean, like, obviously, we said theory that Dionysus accidentally created the island and, like, the lotus plant and everything, but, like, maybe it's also kind of Hera's thing, because she rules over Las Vegas, and her symbol is lotuses. So, I don't know. There's a story here.
Maybe she started the Lotus Hotel as a sort of protection.
Maybe that's it. Maybe she took Dionysus's idea, and, like, when everything, like, moved over to the West, no, we're not talking about Western civilization. No. When it moved over to the West, she was just like, okay, I'm gonna make this better, and it's gonna be, like, protection and helpful.
Yeah, if you think about her role as the mother goddess, and, like, protection of the home. Like, I know Hestia is the goddess of the home and hearth, but, like...
So, Hera's, like, the goddess of, like, the family, though, too.
Yeah, family, and, like, children, and things like that. So maybe it's her way, because we don't see adults in there except for, like, the two guys who, like...
Well, they're both the
give
goddess
them their
of family.
cards.
I don't know why, but I feel like I just associate Hestia more with, like, found family. That's just the vibe that I get from her, where, like,
I see it.
Hera's, like, traditional family, and Hestia's more found family.
No, I get that.
That's the distinction.
But it's just, like, the idea that, the Lotus Hotel is just all children.
Yeah.
And it's sort of Hestia's way of protecting.
You mean her?
Oh, no. Yeah, sorry, her. This is what happens when we switch between the two H's. Let's put Hermes in the mix and I'll really get confused.
Okay, I don't know, I'm just having, like, weird thoughts about, like, Hestia and, like, her fire associations and, like, just, like, I don't know, like, homeless people on the street, like, gathered around, like, a fire. I don't know.
No, I see that.
I feel like that could be, like, a Hestia kind of, like, protection kind of, like, thing. Like, they're all surrounded by, like, they're surrounding the hearth.
Mm-hmm. And going back to that idea of found family are the ones that gather together there.
Yeah.
Not that they all like each other, and homelessness is too big of a problem for how rich our country is, but that's a different rant from Taylor.
Yeah. I just had the idea in my head, and I'm like, okay. On to the chapter, maybe? We've been talking for a long time.
It's fine.
Do we actually talk about Percy Jackson on this podcast? I feel like we don't.
Nah, it's fine.
It's a lie. We say it's a Percy Jackson pod, but really we talk about everything but Percy Jackson. Rule 1 of the pod, don't talk about Western civilization. Rule number 2, don't talk about Percy Jackson.
I hope when we get to, like, King Chronicles, we're, like, super focused. Like, just, like, to be funny.
Nah. You know what? Maybe the thing is when it, like, gets, like, super, like, plot heavy, like, maybe in, like, book 3 or 4, like, that's when we'll actually get, like, more focus into it. But, like, right now, we're just kind of chilling.
Well, even in a couple chapters.
This book is still, like,
In
fairly chill on, like, the plotness of it. It's still, like, a introduction.
Yeah, and I mean, same with, even Sea of Monsters, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's talk about We Take a Zebra to Vegas. Starts off right away with Percy fighting with fucking Ares, and, like, really royally fucking screws them.
I mean, like, we all hate Ares. Ares kinda sucks.
Ares is also one of those characters in Lore Olympus who's somewhat redeeming qualities.
No, I don't want him to be redeeming in any way.
It's mostly because he's an asshole to Zeus most of the time.
That doesn't feel on brand.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this Lore Olympus is so interesting. Sorry. I will talk about Lore Olympus all the time.
I don't like how he talks about Hephaestus either. He's mean. He's a jerk. I don't like him. Can we cancel Ares?
Oh yeah, no. That's without question.
We are canceling Ares and possibly Athena.
I still have to think about Athena.
She's like,
She's borderline.
To, like, think about her in, like, modern terms, Athena's, like, the person who made, like, really bad, like, stuff on Twitter, like, 10 years ago. And, like, now is a lot better. And Ares is just, like, still doing it.
Yeah.
That's the vibe.
That is fair.
I don't know. Yeah, so Ares sucks. And he's like, yo, I found your ride. Just get on that not at all suspicious truck.
Kindness International. Humane Zoo Transport.
God. Just... I don't like this transport.
I know it's meant to be, like, on the nose, but it's, like, too on the nose. But then I have to remind myself, it's a book written for 12-year-olds.
You know what? You're still allowed to criticize it. How about that?
That's true.
You are allowed to criticize media as long as it's media that you like.
And you're not a dick about it.
Yes. I don't want people to criticize media that they just don't like for no reason.
Yeah. Like, we're not gatekeepers here. And normally the stuff I don't like is just... It's normally, like, culturally wrong.
Yeah. That's a different kind of thing.
But yeah, and like we often say, you see growth in Rick as a writer because he sort of learns from his mistakes in the early books. And that's the only reason, like, we just talked about canceling, like...
Yeah.
But, like, he's an example of somebody who has taken his criticism and used it for good into,
he's done it gracefully.
Yeah, and then you think about, like, what he's done with Rick Riordan Presents, and yeah, his name is on it.
But he's doing that so that these other people can have a voice, because he's well known.
Yeah, he uses his name recognition just to get people to be like, hey, look at this author. Like, they are awesome. I think they're awesome. Mm-hmm. Check out their stuff. He's not doing it to be like, hey, look at me. It's this idea of using your platform to help others, like, in a not prideful way. And he's very humble about it, and, like, when he talks about the process of deciding to do Riordan Presents, and, like, how he was sort of hesitant at first and then realized the good it could do. Mm-hmm. I know this went, like, super tangential, but it's one of the reasons I don't feel bad about criticizing his early works, because he is an author who truly grows throughout his work.
Yeah.
And then grows outside of his work as a person.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just keep thinking about this thing. I may have mentioned it on the show before, but, like, a few months back, somebody asked him, like, on Twitter, like, oh, did you ever think that, like, Percy had a crush on Luke or something? And Rick's like, you know, I didn't interpret it that way, but, like, I like that, and you can absolutely think that. That's cool. And he's, like, not judging them, and he's supporting them.
He doesn't gatekeep his own work.
Yeah, and I like that.
And it's very, I mean, that question of does it still belong to the author once it's out in the world? And there's going to be arguments, and, like, the author can interpret their own work in their own way. And, like, maybe they're open about it. But he's a person who admits he interpreted it different, but is okay with the fact that people are going to take his work in a different way than he might have intended.
Yeah.
Which shows a good level of integrity of just a person in general, to be able to realize, like, we're not all thinking the same thing with every input around us. Like, I talk to my kids about bias, and you can apply that to just the idea of reading and writing fiction. And everything we do, you and I are not going to have the same reading of this book. Will it be close? Probably, because we're friends, we have similar, like, thinking patterns.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never going to be the same. And we're also reading it as... Are we the same age right now? Yeah, we are.
Yes.
Yeah, until August. Yeah. Until... As, like,
You are
223...
5
6
months
months
younger?
younger.
5
6
months.
months. 6 months.
January, right?
February.
Well,
It's 6 months.
I had January very much in my brain, and I was like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, no. Anyhow, 6 months. That, like, did not matter. It was just, I completely forgot how old I was for a second.
You know, I think about that a lot. I'm just like, how old am I?
Yeah. But it's like, we're reading this as 23-year-olds. And, like, we're picking up stuff like how, sort of insensitive the depiction of Medusa was.
Yeah.
Whereas when we were 12, our reading was different because of our background. We were 12. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking, man, cool fight scene.
Yeah, I feel like I just, like, didn't think about any of the description of her, and I was more focused on, like, what was happening in the plot. I didn't care about, like... But also, ADHD, I definitely have had trouble, like, reading, like, long paragraphs of descriptions and things. So...
So you and Tolkien don't get along well.
No. I told you I took a class on Tolkien.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got through Hobbit and Fellowship and halfway through Two Towers. Then I'm like, you know what? I'm so far behind in this class. I'm just not... I just can't.
The Hobbit's pretty okay.
Yeah, The Hobbit I was, like, mostly, like, alright. And then Fellowship I was struggling. And then Two Towers I'm just like, I'm bored.
Fellowship burns you out before you get to Two Towers, is my feelings. Two Towers is my favorite book, but, like... Yeah, so Percy Jackson.
Yeah, that's a thing we're supposed to be talking about.
We were technically talking about it for the most part.
So Ares is a dick. He gives them a backpack with some double stuffed Oreos.
And like clothes and like golden drachmas. So
they already got clothes, remember? They got the important clothes from Waterland. That's what it was.
Yeah. But like the $20 and the drachmas. I mean, more money would have been more helpful rather than the drachmas, but whatever. You do you.
He's a god. He doesn't really use the paper money as much.
He doesn't necessarily carry it around with him.
Yeah. I also, the headline that Percy imagines...
I was just laughing at that.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna... 12-year-old outlaw beats up defenseless biker. Because the lady takes a picture of him.
My nephew's turning 11 later this month.
Aw.
And so it's just trying to picture him beating up an adult.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
Oh, I at 11, I feel like I had that energy where, like, I could. I was very chaotic.
Was?
I knew you were gonna say that.
We also get to find out that Sally is officially alive.
Plot twist: Sally isn't dead. Who didn't see this coming?
She was turned into a golden shower.
Ay. I should have made my quip about that. But alas.
Yeah, you should have.
But, you know, it's funnier when Zeus is the golden shower.
Yeah.
At least to me it is.
I like how Ares really, like, does call him out for, like, being sort of stupid. And, like, not understanding, like, what a hostage means. Because I feel like hostage is a pretty, like, understandable term.
Yeah.
Even for a 12-year-old. And Percy just does the dumbest thing in response. Like,
you know, so what do you think about this? Do you think that, like, Ares affects Percy more than Annabeth and Grover? Is it because he's just, like, closer to him? Or do you think there's, like, something going on? So I'm wondering if there's, like, a reason here. Is it just because he's vulnerable?
I mean, there could be the idea of vulnerability. It could be the idea of his mind is not trained for this.
Mm.
He doesn't know, like, Annabeth and Grover are aware of Ares' effect.
I think Percy is aware of it at this point.
He is, but he's already sort of let himself go to it.
Percy's just an angry
when he
boy.
first interacts with... Yeah.
He's just an angry child.
Well, and he's never had a chance not to be angry.
Yeah, I think it could definitely be the fact that, like, I don't know, because, I mean, Grover is older than we think he is, and Annabeth...
Isn't he, like, 26?
We keep bringing up the fact that, like, Annabeth is, like, kind of grown up faster than everyone else.
And she's literally grown up with it. I mean, she got there when she was 7.
So, like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to say it's, like, a level of maturity, but, like, it's definitely a level of, like, controlling your emotions. Kind of, like, emotional intelligence, maybe?
Yeah, even if you just apply the fact that she is a girl, and girls do develop emotional intelligence quicker. Like, it just is a psychological thing.
Yeah, except Athena wasn't very good at controlling her emotions.
Got him. So, Percy fights back, and Ares just says, next time you're in a fight, watch your back. Why would you piss off the god of war, you dumb motherfucker?
Well, he's not in a war, so it's fine.
But, like, it's like, yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, so I feel like Grover is very uncomfortable with this whole situation they're in, especially.
He's just like, can we not? Can we just, let's not.
Also, like, how Percy, like, uses the sword to, like, give them some light. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Does it, like, glow?
Yeah. I mean, it's that magic aspect of it, I guess.
Magic sword.
No, he's just like Lumos.
He doesn't need Lumos. He just has a magic sword. Just thinking about... Oh, wait, you haven't seen that movie. I was thinking about the beginning of the Prisoner of Azkaban movie where Harry just uses fucking Lumos.
Oh, yeah, I do know about, like, isn't he, like, doing his homework?
Yeah, it's like, no magic outside Hogwarts.
You dumbass.
Except it doesn't matter.
You dumbass on the part of the directors and the writers, not
the movie
Harry.
was very
It's
aesthetic, but also there was, like, a racist thing in there. Anyway.
Makes sense. Considering.
There was a shrunken head.
Oof. I'm gonna move on past that.
Please do.
Oof. So we have a zebra, a male albino lion, and a weird antelope thing.
I believe it's a gazelle?
I'm thinking it was a gazelle.
That's what,
Yeah. What's the I one?
Oh, I know what you mean. But I don't remember what it's called.
It's from Africa. I don't remember what it's called. Anyhow. I'm glad you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No, I know what you meant.
This poor fucking zebra has chewing gum in its hair. None of them have the correct food. The antelope has a birthday balloon on it. And
it's just...
Also, I have a question. What 40-year-old has an antelope at their birthday party?
A gazelle, you mean?
Yeah, sorry. I forgot we did.
I don't know.
Either way.
I mean, I'm just imagining, like, what if this animal tried to, like, get free instead of these people and ended up at that birthday party? And that's how it got stuck? I don't know. That's the story, I think. This is just sad, and I don't want to think about it.
Why is this your favorite chapter? Well, it's for the second half of the chapter.
Yeah. I keep forgetting that the Lotus Casino is in this chapter, because, like, the name, I'm just like, alright, it's this shit.
And it's also, we get this establishment of Annabeth and Grover's past that I like. There's all this stuff we've been tiptoeing around for, what chapter are we on? 16? Yeah, we're on chapter 16. We've been tiptoeing around this story for so long. It's really nice to finally get something concrete.
We figured out, like, in the last chapter, the whole, like, Thalia thing.
Yeah, you and I know.
No, I believe it was said in the last chapter about the whole Thalia thing. Right?
No, because we had this argument last time.
Did we? Okay.
Because I put it in the recap and you called me on it.
You know what? I don't even remember anything because it's been so long.
Yeah, I know.
It's the last chapter.
So anyhow, I think that's, like, I feel like something about the somber mood of, like, their situation adds to the impact of their story. Especially because of Grover's connection to the animals. So
Annabeth was 7, Thalia was 12, Luke was 14. Damn. These children. Also, Luke lasted till he was, like, 14.
Yeah, well, he's a child of Hermes.
Yeah.
There's 20 million of them, like... Well, when you're the god of messengers, like, you like, literally get around.
Exactly.
And you're just everywhere, so...
He's pretty fast. He's a fast boy.
Oh, I bet he's bad at sex, because I bet he's, like...
That's what I was thinking. Except, remember, the Stoll brothers aren't twins, so... He did bang their mom at least twice.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's very interesting, though. The fact that, like, they're, like, the first demigods that we meet that, like, aren't twins. Or, like, you know, that are siblings but aren't...
They're blood siblings. Yeah. Like, they are actual, like...
They're actual blood
siblings, but they're not twins.
Yeah, because Dionysus' sons, Castor and Pollux, are twins.
Yes.
Also, they're, like, the only Dionysus kids.
They are, in fact, the only Dionysus kids.
Which is like, wow, okay. I guess he doesn't... I mean, he's trapped at camp. When did he get to do this?
Like, I'm sure he's allowed to leave every once in a while. Probably not,
Theory. Like... What if their mom was, like... Or, I mean, maybe it wasn't a mom. Who knows? We don't know enough about them. But, like, maybe their parent was also, like, a demigod?
Hmm.
We don't know.
Ooh. I don't like that. I never
said it had to be a child.
I know, but still, like, I have a problem with, like, any relationship where one person used to be a teacher of any sort above another person.
I mean, Annabeth was Percy's teacher of mythology things.
Okay, they're also the same exact age.
Nah, Annabeth is a month older.
Oh my god. Go away.
I'm playing devil's advocate here. But yeah, no, I understand.
I know you are, but like...
I understand your concern. But I was just like, theory, what if? Because if he can't leave camp. Anyway, this is a tangent.
I feel like he might be able to if it's not summer.
Maybe he transports the strawberries sometimes.
But when there's, like, so few kids there, maybe Zeus lets him go around, but he still monitors him. I don't know.
Or maybe he just, like, snuck out one time. And it added, like, 50 years onto his sentence.
Maybe he, like, found a phone book. And he, like, called someone.
I mean,
and, like, they meet up.
It could also be, like, a nymph. We don't know. I mean, they're half-bloods.
That's true.
Just, somebody talk to me about Castor and Pollux, Dionysus' twin sons. I want to know. What are your
I mean,
theories?
there is no specification that their mother is
This is so off topic.
a human. It is, but, like, whatever. It's still Percy Jackson related.
It is, in
We're
fact.
doing well.
Yeah, so, we got the backstory.
Well, we also find out it's June 14th. We just established that last chapter, but also, like, reminder again, it's June 14th. We have a week.
Does it say... I mean, it doesn't actually say that. But, so it does say the kindly ones caught up with them. So, again, theory. Mrs. Dots killed Dahlia? Yikes. Well. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that we go into this story after, like, we sort of skipped over the fact that Annabeth actually apologizes.
Oh, where did
about the water park on 247.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
I turned the page.
So it's very important that she hits this vulnerable state because we don't see Annabeth very often in a vulnerable state. Especially admitting she was in a vulnerable state.
Yeah, did we mention the fact that all children of Athena canonically have arachnophobia? That's just a thing.
Because of the story of Arachne. So then we get into this, her vulnerability, and Grover's vulnerable, but, like, I think he feels safe being open about something, because I wonder if part of the reason he won't talk about it is it's sort of a protection of Annabeth as well.
Yeah.
Because it is her story, too.
Yeah, and obviously Annabeth is pretty guarded for, all of her trauma.
Yeah, I mean, she was 7.
Yeah, she was 7.
Like...
Lucky old 7.
Yeah. Yeah, lucky. And it's the thing... It really shows Grover's importance as just a character, as this sort of an example of purity. Of, like, the fact that he had a job, yes, but he couldn't bear to leave Luke and Annabeth.
Yeah.
Because he knew it was wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, obviously, and we find out then that, like you said, kindly ones get Talia, and the Council of Cloven Elders are awful, and...
Yeah, they're cancelled.
Like,
old goat
Grover's dealing with the trauma of losing this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Who he probably became close with in the time they were together.
Yeah.
And they're just like, fuck you.
And he's like, well, my friend just died. And they're like, yeah, 'cause it's your fucking fault. So you don't get to go live your dream because you failed.
Yeah, and I think it's important that Annabeth and Percy are able to have this conversation with him. As it's probably tearing him up every second that they're out on the road, that the same thing will happen to Percy. And, like, the fact that they're there and show their true friendship with him, not just as, like, a person who has a job to be with them.
Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking, like, so this is, like, 5 years ago. Grover's, like, 26, right? I think we said?
Yeah, I think.
And
yeah,
so he would be 21, so he probably looked about 10 and a half.
Yeah, they're about half the age of what?
Grover looked like he was 10 when he was protecting these children.
Yeah, so, like...
Sorry, this is important to me.
No, the fact that I almost wonder if them having this conversation, if it might be the first time Grover's really had a good night's sleep on their entire trip.
Okay, but he's been, like, snoozing, like, a lot.
Yeah, he's snoozing, but I mean, like...
maybe.
A good night's sleep. He's not...
Maybe.
I don't know.
Anyway, Grover is a Hufflepuff. We love him.
Yes.
So, yeah. Then we get to talk about the camp beads. Camp beads, camp beads. We got the pine tree bead, that's Thalia. We get a Greek trireme on fire. A centaur in a prom dress. I want to know what happened on these summers. I really want to know.
Yeah, I would love...
I want to know about Camp Half-Blood Prom, because that would have happened in the summer, because they do the beads in August. Mm-hmm. So, Camp Half-Blood Summer Prom. I want the story.
I wonder if they don't have it anymore because of whatever happened.
They definitely don't. That's definitely it. Because, Chiron's cousins, the other centaurs who were wild and crazy, visited, and they fucked shit up. So, that's clearly what happened. I can figure it out, but I want to know.
Then we get to the college ring, and Annabeth almost shuts down again.
Yeah. So, it's her dad's ring, but, you know, it's like... It was like a peace offering, it seems like. Mm-hmm. But when she went home, things weren't any different. But also, again, how old are her brothers?
Yeah, so...
It was 2 years ago.
Mom had them when she was 5.
And they were, 2 years old when she left. And,
Yeah, so they'd be, 7. 7 and 6.
They'd still be, small.
And my assumption, especially knowing their future relationship, mm-hmm. is she didn't call them a freak. Or call Annabeth a freak. Mm-hmm. But that's how Annabeth interpreted the situation. And I wouldn't blame her for being scared.
I feel like whatever happened was stepmom was actually fine until, something happened, and then she was very protective of the boys.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they definitely know that Annabeth could handle herself, too. Mm-hmm. So, that's especially why she'd be protective of, the little babies.
Yeah,
so.
I
don't know.
I mean, I'm also looking at this with our knowledge of what her family is like later on. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those spoilers that I don't feel bad about, mentioning. It's just we do see them in the future and get a new picture.
I mean, we could always, just have a bonus episode to talk about what the fuck Annabeth's backstory and all of how that cohesive works. Yeah. Cohesive stories. We could do character deep dives for bonus episodes. Or just this is the story of this character before the story.
This is why I tweeted the fact that we spend a lot of our recording time talking about bonus episodes.
Listen. I'm trying to get many ideas. I want to have a shit ton of ideas so that
we can choose.
So we can just choose them and not be thinking about ideas constantly.
Damn, what the fuck should we do? Yeah.
First one is going to be Hercules, but I just know that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, that's established. So she comes back, and that's sort of the end of the story.
Annabeth, please, I'm not into self-inflicted pain when mentioning living with her dad again.
I get it.
I just, looked at that line without context for a second. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, I just thought, no, we were doing math wrong. We were saying how old they would be now. The boys would have been, 5 and 4 when she went home again.
Would they? Because, okay, so how old were they when she was 7? They were, 2. 1 and 2?
Well, they were 2 and 1.
Okay.
And she went home again 2 years before now.
So she would have been later. 10. Okay, so they were 4 and 5, yeah?
5, yeah. So even worse.
Yeah. They're still babies, so
yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Percy once says that she should give her dad a chance. Yeah. Again, I will complain about the Trojan War thing here, where Percy's will it be Athena versus Poseidon? They were on the same side of the Trojan War. Just saying. So, and it had nothing to do with them. Moving on. That's my rant.
Now, like, if he mentioned, like, the Odyssey, maybe?
That makes sense. That one...
Because, like, it is very established.
Because Odysseus fucked off Poseidon.
And then Athena's helping, so, like...
Well, specifically because... I'm thinking specifically the Cyclops thing. Because he fucked up Poseidon's kid, and Poseidon was like, fuck you. And Athena's always on the side of Odysseus.
Yeah, she just wants to, mentally fuck him.
Yeah.
So, we had a nightmare, as always.
Nightmare! Okay, so... Okay, who wouldn't have this scary dream about, taking a standardized test while wearing a straitjacket? That feels like a very relatable dream. I don't think I've had that particular one, but I've definitely had dreams about tests.
I have a dream that I'm, in middle school all the time, but, I'm still an adult.
Also, we get a look at Thalia, and just...
Black punk-style hair, dark eyeliner around her stormy green eyes, and freckles across her nose.
God, this queer punk. I love her.
Mm-hmm.
That's all and she calls him Seaweed Brain! I love Thalia. Thalia's great.
I also like how...
Are we gonna mention that her eyes are green here?
Oh, yes. She has her mother's eyes. I don't know that. I was just quoting her.
Okay. Her eyes are only green in this book.
Yeah, they are never green again.
I like to point this out.
Yeah. It's fine. Percy has learned how to lucid dream.
Yeah! Because he's like, oh yeah, I'm in a dream. I'm gonna go give Hades a piece of my mind. And guess what? He's back before the pit, and people are talking, and we don't see who they are. They're invisible. And one of them is the crooked one. I wonder who that is. And,
you don't necessarily get a whole lot of clues on who's...
No, you don't.
He's talking to.
Not who, the other person is.
Yeah.
We get the one in the pit is the crooked one.
Yeah. And, if you know mythology, you know who it is? Or could have a pretty guess? I mean, we're not gonna say, but,
Yeah.
The other person, there is really no clue.
No.
And they realize that he's listening.
And then they change his dream for him. And Percy is on a throne, or he's in a throne room. It's made of human bones. His mom is there, and the skeletons are, giving him some robes and some laurels. This is kind of scary, actually.
Yeah, no, this dream is much scarier than anything that's happened in the pit.
So I just always remember this scene, particularly in the graphic novel of this book. Because I do in fact own the graphic novels for the Percy Jackson series. Anything that's Percy Jackson related, chances are I own it. At least for the books. Yeah. I don't know. It feels... I mean, it's creepy, but it feels slightly less creepy than how this is described. I don't know. The fact that it's a laurel wreath that has poison on it, I'm just thinking, I don't know. It makes me think of the crown of Jesus, the crown of thorns.
That's what that was exactly what I was thinking of, actually.
Is there meant to be a Jesus parallel here? Is there meant to be? I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot of parallels just in general in religion, so...
Yeah.
So, he wakes up, because that's terrifying, and I would also wake up.
Yeah.
And it helps, though, that they gotta hide real quick.
Oh, right. Also, we get this great thing, where Percy hears the zebra in his mind. God, I love this. I love that this is the first time he gets this power. It's a zebra.
So, if you remember, we talked about how Poseidon created the horse.
Yeah, he created you, Christina.
Apparently that gives... He can understand horses, question mark.
Sorry, I'm laughing at my own joke.
I love you for that.
Well, he created Christina, because she's a horse.
There's so many times where I'm editing the podcast and laugh at my own shit.
Yeah, I just laugh at my own shit in real time.
Yeah. So, Grover can talk to all of them, but Percy can only understand the zebra. And the lion is mentioning that they're animal smugglers, and they've decided they need to free them.
Also, so Percy's like, why can I only understand the zebra? Is this a learning disability that I can only understand zebras? Like,
then he realizes it, but like,
and then he's like,
God.
oh wait, no, it's Poseidon. I get it. I got it.
Mm-hmm. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, so they free the animals, and they get the fuck out. It's great.
And it's very important. Grover gives them this blessing, that they'll be protected.
And Annabeth makes that joke. It only works on wild animals, so it would only affect Percy?
God bless.
I love the banter. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like, their conversations, just as this book has gone on, just...
Chef's kiss.
So good.
So yeah, they're roaming around, and then they find the Lotus Hotel and Casino. And it just entices them. Okay. So, like, they don't eat lotus flowers, but...
No.
The air conditioning...
I think it's the smell.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's the smell of the lotus. I didn't notice that, like, before.
Are they being hotboxed? I think they're being hotboxed.
Is that, like... I assume that's, like, the term for when you, like, just smell the drugs, and...
Yeah, it's like when you're like, in an enclosed space, and, like, somebody, or, like, the marijuana is being, like...
I feel like I've heard a different term for that.
Put into the air.
Yeah. I know of this.
And then you get the high off of it. But that's essentially what this is, like...
Yeah. I definitely didn't notice this in, like, previous readings of the book, but, like, this time I was like, oh, that's how it works!
Mm-hmm.
Because I just kept being like, it definitely made so much more sense to me in the movie. I want to mention the fucking movie, because just, the movie has its problems. But this scene in the movie is, like, my favorite because it's so fucking chaotic, and they're on drugs. The movie is, like, adult for this scene because they're fucking on drugs, and you know it. Because they actually eat, like, lotus cookies, and I'm like, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Like, this works, too, but...
I do sort of like this idea that it's just the air.
I do like that,
and I feel
too.
like it's more entrapping. Like...
But I also do like the lotus cookies. I don't know which I like.
Oh, yeah, no, I do enjoy, like, the scene in the movie. I agree.
Yeah, they're just really funny in the movie. And, like, Poker Face is playing in the background. It's such a vibe. It's such a 2010 vibe.
I was gonna say, it's so, like... I just imagine this, like, bungee jumping bridge inside, climbing wall, indoor water... Okay, the water park is what would get me. Okay, so, like... I think that... How big is this place?
I was gonna say, I think this is actually just, like, a pocket dimension. Because it's, like, this place is, like, super magical, and it's just a fucking pocket dimension. Kids...
Do you think all the kids are seeing the same thing?
Maybe. Maybe they're seeing different things. Because I mean, they're seeing whatever entices them.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, decade-wise. Like...
Yeah.
They meet these other people...
Well, didn't somebody mention, like, that, like, the machines get better or something?
Yeah, maybe he does. I forget.
I feel like that's said. But, like, so kids listening to this, you demigods out there, this is just another, Fae propaganda thing. This is fairies. This is fairies. They're trying to trap you. They
want your hair.
What? What'd you say?
Do you not remember that story about the fairies just... Oh, no, that was nymphs. The nymphs who wanted the children's hair You had to sacrifice some of your hair to the naiads.
We did say that, yeah. But also that feels like a fairy thing.
Yeah.
Like wanting to steal your hair.
I was like connecting it. Yeah.
Fairies just like to steal people. Like that's a thing. Just such a thing. So yeah, don't go into fairy circles once again. Don't eat the lotus drugs. Don't inhale the lotus drugs. Don't follow the fae. Don't eat anything if you go to the fae realm. You will never leave. I mean, unless you really want to be married to the fairy queen. I mean, like, I would, so I get it. I get it. But I'm telling you, children.
Love to be at this hotel forever.
I hope no children are listening to this. But I'm telling you, children listening to this. Jish, don't do it.
Close your ears.
Don't do it.
It's so funny to me, like, culturally, like, this show is okay for, like, teenagers in England. Like, it's just such a different cultural, like, vibe.
I mean, yeah.
Like, swearing is just a part of life there, and I love it. I have a problem with the social construct of swearing being a bad thing.
I mean, yeah. It's dumb. Language.
Who decided?
Language. It's a thing. Watch your language.
So, like, honestly, being at this place would be actual heaven.
Oh god, I would never fucking leave!
Yeah, fluffy towels, I wouldn't want a waterbed, like a nice, like, memory foam bed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I probably just wouldn't leave the hotel room.
A fucking hot tub.
Like, forget going downstairs to the game room. I probably just wouldn't leave the room because I'd just be like, okay, I was just on that fucking quest. I want to take a nap. And then I just wouldn't ever get up out of bed.
Like, if we added, like, a couple bookshelves on there where, like, anything I'd want to read ever was in there.
I mean,
it would be perfect.
I feel like every room is very catered to you. So
yeah, I mean, the fact that there's three rooms already says that. So it would be like you'd go down, like, I'd spend, like, my mornings and evenings in the water park, my afternoons, like, taking a nap, and then
you assume you have a sense of time there. You were assuming you would have a sense of time.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't, but, like, I feel like I would have a schedule.
You assume. You assume too much, Taylor.
That's true.
See, for me, this would be like when I'm playing Hades, and I just, like, I just don't recall time passing. I was playing Hades till, like, 6 o'clock, and then I was like, oh, we're recording in an hour, aren't we? And I was like, wait, time? What is that?
Joe and I were carrying things up steps. It was unfun.
Yeah, so yeah, do you think that, like, this was a plot to, like, get them in there, or was just, like, that's how they work? Because
I genuinely think it just happened.
I'm just, not to bring up the movie again, but, like, in the movie, it's, like, very much a, like, thing to keep them in the hotel. It seems like it's a prior plot to keep them in there.
Yeah. Whereas, like, this, I don't think it is. Because they're just like, bye, when they go to leave.
I don't know. It's an idea. I don't know. Just thinking about, like, this place being, like, Hera's, like, little thing. I don't know. Am I starting to like Hera and this idea of her? I'm not gonna like her in later stuff. But right now, I'm like, you know what? That's chill.
Hera, like, in these books, I have mixed feelings about.
Yeah.
But, like, Hera in general, she's one I don't hate. Because most of her stuff is reactionary.
Yeah.
Like, it's mostly, like, her being shat on and her responding.
Yeah, she's reacting in a bad way because bad shit happened to her because her husband sucks. So.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about the fact that, like, Percy's the one who figures
Yeah,
Lotus Hotel out.
okay. But also, it's because he has, like, a real drive to, like, for his mom and everything.
Yeah,
Get
that's
out of-
fair. He does have something he holds on to.
I just really want to think about, like, when they first go there, it's just so fucking creepy. It's like a pedophile van situation, except it's a fucking hotel. It's like, hey kids, you want a room key? You want some candy? Come on in! Yeah.
And, like,
super
nothing
creepy.
bad is, like, being done to them. They're just
Nothing
playing
is
games.
actually being done to them, except their minds are rotting. Because
But are they rotting?
they're rotting
They
because
just-
they're losing time.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of, like I said, it's like when you're playing games kind of mind rot, where it's like, what is time? What's happening? I don't know.
Does time exist?
There is a liminal space that you go into if you get really focused on a game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't have that because I don't really play video games, but, like, even, like, reading...
Do non-ADHD people get this? Or is this just me?
Yeah, no. No, I get it with something like reading.
Okay.
Like, if I'm very invested in what I'm doing, I've read for 4 hours straight one time and, like, didn't realize I did it. And I was like, oh, it's dark out now.
Yeah. So yeah, this place is heaven. I think it's...
We scare Annabeth back into knowing by talking about spiders. We grab Grover. He tries to shoot Percy with the gun.
Wait, what does he say? Does he say, like, die human?
Yeah, he says, die human, die silly, polluting, nasty human, because he's playing a game where the deer get to hunt the hunters.
Honestly, that sounds very cathartic.
Yeah. So I'm very anti-gun. Guns freak me out. I, like, am terrified of them. I also hate loud noises. So, like, that's also another big mark against them. So, just taking it out on people who use them all the time. I'm just like,
I mean, would you prefer it if Grover was using, like, a baseball bat to hit the hunter?
I like a good machete would be cool.
Ooh. Okay, but
I'm a big fan of machetes.
I'm just thinking about how that would work game mechanic-wise, though.
Imagine the workout you'd get.
Yeah. Okay, so it's now a Wii controller instead.
I was just thinking about that. It's a new Wii Fit.
Yeah. I just remember how I used to do the sword fighting on the Wii Fit.
Mm-hmm.
No, not Wii Fit. It was Wii Sports Resort. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I would just, like, bonk the person on the head. That's how I would do it. The entire time, just bonk them. And they would die.
I played so much ping pong on Wii Sports Resort. That was my shit.
Am I gonna want to play Wii games tomorrow? God, I have so much editing to do.
And they almost decide to stay again because they're enticed by this new thing, like the new card.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that, like, when they got there, they were given, like, a card, and the guy laughed at them when they were like, how much, when does it run out? Like, how much is on it? And he's like, you're joking.
Just imagine that.
There's something that happens, like, the next chapter that I was, like, gonna mention, but it doesn't happen yet. And it involves the card.
And they get outside, and they realize they hadn't gone back up to the room, but they still somehow have the backpack from Ares.
Okay, but it's a gift from a god.
Yeah.
It's a gift from a god. Like, you can't get rid of that shit.
Thank the gods, though. It's the same year that they went in. However, it is now June 20th. 1 day left until the summer solstice.
Yay! We got
Huzzah.
a few days left until the summer solstice. At least from here. A few days.
Yeah.
When does this episode come out?
When does this come out?
2 weeks.
It comes out the 17th, so, like...
Oh, just before the solstice!
Just before the solstice. Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts about the chapter?
I think that's it. Let me actually, like, check my fucking notes to see if... Because I don't even look at my notes anymore. I take them and then I just forget about them.
You assume I take notes.
I do take notes.
I don't.
Yeah, just... But imagine what would happen if you actually lost the backpack.
Yike. Okay, do you have any plugs for me, my dear?
Oh, I'm doing plugs. I'm your deer.
Yeah.
Am I
You are my deer.
your deer hunter? Am I
Please don't shoot me.
I'm not shooting you, I'm shooting the people who usually shoot deer. Okay. I have so many fucking plugs listed because we haven't plugged things for the past, like, couple weeks. Because of bonus eps.
Yeah, we didn't with the Pride episodes.
But, like, I could use my past plugs. But instead, I'm gonna plug what I'm watching right now. And I'm watching, the show Lucifer. The show.
I've wondered if that was gonna be your plug.
Yeah, the show is so good. Like, okay, if you liked, like, Good Omens, it's got, like, that vibe, but also, like, murder mystery detective kind of shit. Like, Lucifer is, like, working with detectives to find murder victims, but also it's got, like, the, like, making fun of, mostly Christianity, because the hero of the story is Lucifer. And it's very critical of, like, some things in religion, and right now I'm watching, like, the most recent season that's been released on Netflix. What's that face?
Sorry, I'm just looking at the cast.
It's okay. Okay, everybody thirsts over Lucifer, just so you know. And he, you know, I get it.
Never heard of this guy.
He's cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a fun show. And, oh god. They don't, like... I was just thinking about this. Also, Pride Month, so it's relevant. I don't think they actually, like, mention, like, what the characters' orientations are, but Lucifer is very clearly pansexual. He does, in fact, have relations with guys. It's not as often as his relations with girls. Most recently, some girls got together on the show, and I'm having feelings. Yeah, it's good shit. It's good shit. I like things that are critical of religion.
I don't know how I feel about religion.
You know, I also feel that. I like it if they're critical about it, just because, like, you can't take it too seriously, I feel.
I think I'm a pretty strong deist.
Which one is that?
I think there's some sort of higher power that started everything, but I don't think they play much of a role now.
Okay. What's the difference between that and agnostic? Is agnostic just like, you think something might be there, but you don't know? Is that what it is?
Yeah, and they think that there might be some sort of something in play still, whereas deism is more like they created it and stopped.
I mean, I like the theory that, I don't know if I'm the first person to think of this theory, but I thought of it, that what if this is the seventh day?
It might
God
be.
is just asleep.
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know shit.
That's a mood. I guess I'll do my plug.
What's your plug?
I am in the middle of reading The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green, his new nonfiction book. It is so good. Like, it's a bunch of short essays about a bunch of random things, like the penguins of Madagascar, and, sorry, that's my favorite one, Canadian geese and how they're awful.
The fuck?
And it's just all these random things. Diet Dr. Pepper. Like, it just gives me joy.
What is
this? And at the end, he reviews everything.
That's okay. Okay.
And so, like, at the end of there are, like, mini essays about each thing. And, like, and his thoughts about it. And, like, the last sentence of every chapter is him giving it a 5-star rating.
Alright.
And I know I'm explaining it poorly, but there's just something about it that is both cathartic and just, it gives me a weird amount of joy. Like, I'm a big John Green fan. An Abundance of Catherines is pretty high up on my list of favorite books. I know that's probably an unpopular opinion among people who read John Green books. Most people I know put it close to the bottom. I think it's a good book. And like, I'm a big fan of Crash Course. I use it in my class, and sometimes I just watch it on my own because I like Crash Course. So like, of course, we watch Vlogbrothers. You have to. It's great. So he did start it off as like a podcast concept, so there is the podcast, The Anthropocene Reviewed, but this is, I don't know, there's just something special about just John Green's mind. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, because he just writes it as him as a person. And I like that. Like, he's being real about his thoughts. About just random shit. And so that is why I would plug The Anthropocene Reviewed. Will cherish my signed copy.
So can I make a joke about how you still haven't read Song of Achilles?
Yeah, I know. I got Anthropocene Reviewed, like, I had pre-ordered it, like, months ago. And, I mean, I've had it since the 18th when it came out, and, I mean, I'm 100 pages in. So, don't feel bad, Song of Achilles. There's just a lot going on right now. I will get there. It is on my list of books to get to this summer, but I need to finish moving first. That is a helpful step.
Maybe.
Yeah. I do have to be out of this apartment in a couple weeks.
But more importantly, Taylor, you need to move your ass, because you gotta get out of that closet. Come out of that closet, babe.
You can follow the podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and at Of the Eldest Gods on Twitter. You can send an iris message to us through oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. You can follow me, Taylor, at Taylor from Cabin 6 on Instagram, and Historical Femme, spelled FEMME, on Twitter. Catch me on episodes of the Restricted Section, Hell from Elsewhere, and True Stories of a Tryhard.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, mainly Instagram and Tumblr. But on Twitter, I'm at GreenPixie123, which I'm not salty about. No, not at all. I also have an art Instagram that I sometimes use, at GreenPixieDraws. I sometimes do the YouTube thing on my channel, Charlie Mack. That's MACK.
Our music was written by Nora Strauss-Riggs and recorded and edited by Ian Emmerich. You can find Nora at Kane_I, that's I as in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your pod. She's the host of Siblings and Fandoms, where Nora and her sister Maddie talk about fandoms they're part of, ones they're not, and everything in between. She is also the host of Modern Musical Origin, which is an informative show delving into the history of different instruments and styles of music. You can find both of those pods on all the major podcasting apps. We are proud to be part of the Movie Night Crew Network, which features the Restricted Section, a chapter-by-chapter Harry Potter pod with lots of spoilers all the time, the Movie Night Crew, join some friends as they react to some terrible, some meh, some really great movies. Fandom's Gone Wrong, a fandom-filled show co-hosted by our own Charlie. Content and Capable, where we follow Sam as he tries to figure out what it truly means to adult. And My Cabbages, an Avatar podcast that follows the true hero of the Avatar The Last Airbender series, the Cabbage Cart Guy.
Coffee, tea, honor, cabbage. Long ago, the four elements lived in harmony. Then, shit went totally cray when the Avatar attacked. Only the Cabbage Man, merchant of fine cruciferous vegetables, could stand against his trolling. But when the world needed some dank veg, he vanished. 10 years have passed, and my partner and I have started a new podcast.
My Cabbages! An Avatar podcast.
A weekly show about Avatar The Last Airbender. Whether it's Sokka's new line of cologne...
Hey, look at you, sitting there on a seal. Well, now look back at me. I'm on an even bigger seal. Now look away.
D&D related antics.
You have to make an acrobatics check for that, and Aang just like unzips his pants and whips out his D20s. He's just like, I got this.
Or randomly breaking into song.
Go bending waterfall.
We'll stumble our way through the greatest show ever made, one episode at a time.
You can reach us at CabbageCast, which is our Twitter, or
Subscribe wherever you catch pod.
Rotten cabbages? What kind of slum do you think this is?
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now, we are discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
I'm always open to you, Bibby.
That movie sucked. I kind of liked it.
Movie Night Crew Network.